and welcome everyone to the next episode of Minerva PLM TV. I'm Jennifer Moore, your host, and today I have with me two very special guests, Oleg Shilevitsky from OpenBOM and Leon Lauritsen from Minerva as well. Oleg, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Why don't you take a moment to tell those that aren't already familiar with you from your blog and your writings about the PLM space, who you are, and a little bit about your background.
Sure. Good morning or good afternoon, depends on the time. I think we're in a different time zones. So thank you for having me. So I'm Oleg Shilevitsky. I'm co-founder and CEO of OpenBOM, and also for more than 10 years writing a blog about PLM, beyond PLM, where I'm talking about different trends and different aspects of product lifecycle management development and related technologies. So thank you for having me here.
Excellent. Thank you, Oleg. And Leon?
Yeah, my name is Leon Lauritsen. I started up the PLM unit inside Minerva in 2002. Prior to that, having been in business consulting, even programmed the system, an ERP system from scratch. So I've been a little bit doing a lot of different things. So that's a bit about my background and as well for me. Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Thank you both very much. So today we're going to take a little bit of a different approach since you both have incredible experience in the PLM space in small and medium-sized companies as well as in larger companies. Let's just spend a little bit of time talking about, go right into it. What do you see as the challenges being with adopting product lifecycle management for a small or mid-sized business or really just the mid-market? Oleg?
Yeah, I think it's a great question because we see so many examples in different industries, in different size of companies, in different environments. And I think the biggest challenge is that the differentiation and variety of use cases and variety of requirements combined with the size of the companies and combined with skills and capabilities of IT people, or sometimes and very often with small companies, absence of IT people. Because remember, if you are the guy who knows how to do something with programming, so you are the engineer who will be appointed as IT automatically.
Right.
So that's how it will work. And that's all together created this situation in which it's very hard to adopt and requires special technologies and special skills.
And Leon, what's your take?
Yeah, I think Oleg, he touched on a lot of the points that I would also mention, but to take it a little bit further as well is, of course, that if I look at mid-market, they many of them, they've got the same challenges as the large companies as well. But you can say their pockets are maybe not as deep. They cannot afford to spend the same amount of money on deploying a PLM system, even though their complexity is roughly the same. And then I fully agree with Oleg that the many combinations of requirements, it's very hard for the software authors to bring forward an out-of-the-box system that can handle all these different combinations of challenges that are out there, because it is just different, at least in my experience, to many other markets when you count all the things that we see in both a make-to-stock company, an engineering-to-order company, configure-to-order company. They are so different, and that means that it's very hard, I believe, to make a solution out of the box that would just work.
Okay, so I'm hearing two different sides of the equation from both of you. You both agree that no matter the size of the company, there's a lot of complexity in products today, and that in itself makes it challenging to adopt PLM. But Oleg, you're going mostly from the internal skill set side, and Leon, I'm hearing you saying from the software side, it's difficult as well. It's expensive, it's hard to do. So generally we're saying PLM is hard.
I think the current PLM is hard.
Okay.
Because it was designed and implemented for large companies with a particular skill set, with a particular demand from departments, from particular demand from IT. I think we are in the violent agreement, at least this is how I feel, because it all comes as a as a combination of requirements. There is a package that you can sell to enterprise OEM manufacturer, and the same package cannot be sold to small company because they are not in this. They are not even coming close to this, in my view. So, and this is what combined. I guess maybe some PLM companies or some people in PLM companies thought that they can take the same package and sell it cheaper and somehow simplify. So this is where I afraid a potential problem because you cannot scale down something that was heavily and focused designed for the large companies. That's I think this is the question that I had in one of the writings where Leon and I went in disagreement, maybe some discussions, and I think I just bring it up. So you cannot scale down big PLM. That's my point. You need to develop something different.
Okay, I see where you're coming from. And really, PLM has evolved. So like you said, it started out with a certain set of requirements, a really long time ago. It's continued to change over the years, and you're seeing people trying to take those same solutions and apply them in new ways instead of rethinking them.
First let's take the same solution, make it cheaper, but this is by itself a problem. You cannot sell the same package for two prices. The people will figure out it's very quick. It's actually happened with few companies. So then let's figure out how to make it out of the box. I think that's where there are a lot of debates, if you can do it out of the box, if you cannot do it out of the box. So I think that's a question where I'm very interested to hear from Leon. Because you said word out of the box a couple of times. So.
Yep. Leon?
I'm happy to comment. Thank you for that. And I like the discussions with you, Oleg, on this topic. So let me present what I at least have seen, or what I believe in, is that you of course need to, as you're stating, you need to rebuild solutions that fit more to mid-market. If you put forward a process model that is designed for very large companies, you're putting so much administrative burden on the mid-market that they will simply choke in all of that. So first point to me is that you need to make out-of-the-box solutions that is fitting to mid-market, and they have to be rethought compared to the large ones. That is one point. The other point is that no matter how good any of us are at making out-of-the-box, due to the combination of requirements, as you stated, we need to have something that can be adopted. And of course, since it is mid-market, they don't have the same amount of money, then we need to have a way to adopt them without it being a huge cost. Whether that is having components of things that have been done before, so that you can apply them to that solution that then generates a solution for this client. So you've got a library of components that you can reuse, or it is that your product is very fast at being configured, or low code, or whatever the mentioning would be nowadays. But there has to be a way where you bring a strong foundation from my side out of the box that matches the industry. You need to have a solution underneath that can be adopted, but in a fast and efficient way, whether that is again through combination of components, configuration, or low code. That is, at least to me, what we believe and what we have seen. And whether this will work entirely, that is of course remaining to be seen, but at least we can see it has had a success with many clients that we have worked with.
So guys, great discussion, love it. But how does somebody working inside of a company take this information and do something with it when looking for PLM solutions for themselves? What is the answer? How do they know that they're gonna find something that's gonna work for their company?
I think it depends on the company and on people, but let's say if we work with the young generation of people, somebody who is actively looking how to solve problem. So I would expect them to go to Google, and I expect them to go to all places online where they can first search for solution. Second, listen to other people and check what is available, and that's where everything starts. So people of young generation, when they ask for solution, they ask for the website and how we can click on the button to use it. So click on the button, get PLM or whatever button you will call it, and start your journey. And it doesn't matter what this journey could be. This journey can be watching YouTube videos, journey can be using application. I think most of people these days are looking for some hands-on, although this is sometimes a dangerous path because they can fairly quickly hit some levels of complexity that requires some help and requires some assistance from the side. And there is another thing that we should not discount, in my view, and it often happens that the PLM is not a single person job.
No.
And when it's not a single person job, it requires a lot of work that needs to be done in a company, in the team. So the agreement, the alignment about what they need, it's a part of this process. So it ends up in the very kind of process going back and forth. But I think three things that can make it successful. First of all, make it available immediately, whatever it means, but make it available. Get this button, get PLM button. So I think that's important. I think to have information available for people in addition to button. Like, I have the application, what can I do with this?
Right.
And the third, to provide them assistance. We work mostly at OpenBOM with people online, so we don't have a high touch with people. And to have them, to give them help online, to give them assistance online. If this is a partner, these are partners that work online. We have partners that give in support and services online. So this is all together can create the package that companies of this scale can adopt and can go with. I think there's a combination of things.
Okay.
One thing to
go ahead.
No, the last thing that I wanted to mention is all these things needs to be with the business model that can afford it, because you can do everything if you have budget. If you don't, it's very hard. So if somebody is interested to pay you $100, you cannot do many things. If somebody is interested to pay you $1,000, you can do a little bit more. If somebody is paying you $1 million, then you go back to OEM business. So
right,
just hard to do it.
So I heard really whenever a company is looking to solve challenges with product lifecycle management, they need to understand, first of all, that it is complex. Second, do their research, go out there, get educated on what's going to be involved in this product lifecycle management project and start to figure out what challenges that they want to solve. And then third, start to form a team internally, because you're never going to do PLM by yourself. And then from there, the path can diverge.
Doing hands-on, so they need to have solution available immediately. So that's a board is online. So we're talking online. So get the button, get the online application immediately. Nobody will want to wait. So nobody will want to wait for the next month until it will be installed, until it will be configured. No, get the button. I want this application now, immediately, in 5 minutes. I want it up and running. And then we can learn what we can do with it.
Okay. Leon, what do you think about that?
I think Oleg mentions a lot of good points. I think I had a previous conversation with Oleg as well, where he also said something, as always, very clever, but I will actually mention it here now. And that was knowledge. Oleg, I at least remember one of the other conversations we've had, engaging many of these mid-sized companies, engaging themselves with PLM knowledge if they don't have it. So that before necessarily they start looking at a tool, I think personally, I believe that it is important that they understand what is actually important for them. So instead of just, rushing off to the Home Depot to try out the Black & Decker driller or whatever example we're going to use here, I think it's important to understand what are really your requirements, what is critical for your business that you need support for. And in that process, analyzing those requirements, it can be very valuable if you don't have knowledge already inside your company to engage with people who have got PLM knowledge, so that you get a good definition of what are your requirements. And then for me, when you're trying out a solution, the critical thing is, if you know your requirements, then figure out how do you solve some of your critical but also very tough requirements, because some of the common things, everyone can do. It's a little bit like going out and to try a car whether the engine starts or not. All cars can do that. So you also need to figure out, when you want to make that selection, what are some of the critical advanced requirements that you must have support for, and those are the things that you're focusing on.
What do you think, Oleg? Do you think it's realistic for somebody to actually plug and play an advanced end-to-end product lifecycle management initiative and get their hands on it without any assistance at all?
I think it's largely depends on what organization and what problem are we trying to solve.
Okay.
So if you come in with the organization that first of all knows what is PLM, I mean, not what is behind PLM, but they know that PLM does exist.
Yes.
Because some others saying the PLM, it's, I don't know, if I go, it's a psychotic leisure music, okay? So that's how they can treat PLM. So, and I don't know what is this, and I don't know if I need this, okay?
Yeah.
So if you go with, so if you hit people that are actually not aware that there is a such thing PLM, or they live in the space that believes that PLM is for somebody over there on the large portion of the equation, large companies, it's not for me. I just need to help my company not to buy extra parts and do planning.
Yep.
So for those people, it can be overkill, because those people will think that you're selling them something that they don't need.
So give me an example of something that would lead them to PLM is what they need.
Yeah, so something that help them to understand that this is something that they need, and something that speak on the level of their knowledge, and something that they speak on the level of their problem. And their problem sometimes much simpler or sound some simple, so they're not realizing the complexity.
Mm-hmm.
So how to hide the complexity, so it all comes together to the point how to engage with them. So yes, if they will understand that this is the PLM problem and they will agree, of course they will need knowledge. But I've heard many, I think, discussions and very good examples when companies were approaching PLM by stages. So the so-called phased approach.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in this phased approach, to be able to start the engine can be very good, and using your description, Leon. So
Test one.
Yeah, also it means that you have an engine that can start,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't require you to spend fortune, because some companies will not start the engine because it's expensive to start the engine. So if you can start engine online, it means that your engine is actually capable to start, and it doesn't require a team of people and a 2-year subscription to start this engine. Because for some companies to start engine is 2-year subscription, and we know the different technical and business aspects of this. So if you need to host servers for 2 years minimum, so you will not allow to touch this engine, anybody, because it's a cost a lot. So that's just my take, and I think it comes to the point that a solution needs to be adopted by companies in the different speed and the different knowledge requirements.
Okay. What happens if after you start the engine, that's really all it can do? Like Leon, you really gave the example of everybody can start the engine, we hope. Oleg's just given some examples of maybe where you can't. But once you start the engine, what's something that you should be looking for to make sure that it's going to be able to meet your requirements beyond starting the engine?
If I was to comment a little bit on this as well, I think we see a lot out in the industry, exactly, examples of what you're mentioning there, Jennifer, is that people, they have engaged on the journey. They have made a phased approach, as Oleg states, which is the right thing to do. But we at least see some that have maybe not made sure that they have done the investigation deep enough before they decided to go ahead with something. So they've maybe rushed a bit too fast into making a selection, and now when they're coming to a phase 2 or a phase 3, then they are approaching problems because they have identified, maybe what we envisioned that it could do and what we thought in the beginning is actually not the truth. And that's why I'm stating many times even in the selection process, even though it's in phase 3 or something like that, you should take up some of your tough requirements and at least try to understand how would the solution solve that, whether that is through just a proof of concept or it's seeing it fully live. But you need to have some degree of assurance that this is actually the case, in my view at least, because there are so many examples out there where they've even spent a lot of money where they haven't achieved the vision that they at least set out to do.
Oleg, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think yes. If people are they need to have some alignment about what they want and what they need. The problem that people don't. The problem that people come in with the vision of the problem they have, and they trying to face their vision immediately, and you know, it's hard to teach people. So I think if it very depends on the organizations. So from our experience at OpenBOM, what was very important is to let them experience their data and let them experience their problem firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
So data can help to companies to solve their problem and to understand their problem, because in abstract discussions are good, but practical examples can really help. So for companies facing problems with their data, they usually know how to describe the problem in the very specific language of their company. Okay, so
yeah.
And if, for example, company is looking how to optimize purchasing, so they are looking at the process how to optimize purchasing based on the bill of materials data, or how to get data to the right people so they will stop sending emails with Excels. So those are very practical examples. They are not examples of big strategies, but those are also companies that looking how to get fast ROI out of these implementations. So I think we will have to segment companies, and we will have to segment solutions and look how to address a specific segment. So all together with the business model that can afford it. So I think this is where our learning is, that the way companies are adopting solution and the way companies are learning is changing.
Yes.
So people would like to go online, people would like to go and try, people would like to learn online. So it's a lot of things that are changing. So the engagement model is different. So the technology is part of the solution, and the solution is part of the engagement model, and it's all together is changing. So to provide the technology that can stand this new engagement model, and to build solution for these companies, I think it's all will take changes. And this is, I think, where Leon, you said about experience. So yeah, it requires experience. For example, at OpenBOM, we brought partners this year that can help to companies to engage with solution, to engage with the customization, and they do it online. So if you think it was possible 5-7 years ago, most probably not. But these days, the technologies are different. The integration technologies are different. The PLM technologies are different. So it all starts from the point, yes, I can start an engine and then I can do something. So I can do programming online for the customer who is located in, I don't know, in Asia, but I'm sitting in Boston office. So I wasn't able to do it 5 years ago. I wasn't able to do it 10 years ago. So the technology opened new opportunities and business models. So I think it's all changing altogether.
That's actually a really great point. And I think for those companies that were not even really considering the ways in which online was really important for their business, especially in the types of companies that traditionally would use product lifecycle management, we're seeing now more than ever that everyone is really thinking about, how do I enable my teams to be online? How do we get training online? How do we deploy online? How do we do all of these things remotely? Because even though a large portion of them may have had remote offices before, they would come together oftentimes for things like, big training sessions or kickoffs and big projects, and, trying to revamp their business processes. So having that online component, I think everyone wants that now.
You missed one point in my view.
What's that?
You didn't say how to sell online. Because,
yes.
Because now we all in sales online, and I don't know how many people we live in this unprecedented time with this very tragic event, but I don't know how many PLM salespeople will come back on the road in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
Also because maybe they will consider air travel is not safe, but also because they say, oh, I can now sell online, so maybe that's the next big thing. So I don't.
That's a topic for another day. And on that note, guys, we're actually running out of time for this episode. So thank you so much, both of you, for joining me. I look forward to speaking with you both again soon. And to all of our viewers, thanks again for joining us. If you like this content, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button so you'll be alerted every time we push out new videos. Come back again and see Oleg and Leon with me in the future, as well as all of our other guests. Have a particular topic that you'd like to see addressed? Drop your comments below or send me an email at jmo@minerva-plm.com. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day.